Hello everyone, the Pokemon Finalist back here again, and today I'm going to be doing a deck profile on the deck I played for Florida Regionals. Now, just to kind of give you guys a heads up, I don't really like this standard too much. I think it's a lot of Mega Mewtwo Garb, a lot of Volcanion, and a lot of Darkrai Giratina, so I kind of just wanted to play something more on the fun side, less competitive, kind of start the season off as, a little bit more relaxed. I am not 100% sure how competitively I'm going to go for the invite, seeing that the bar is set at 500 points. So I thought I would take the weekend to have a little bit of fun and play a deck that I had been working on for a little bit. So this is going to be a Garchomp, Garbodor, Jolteon EX deck, and yeah, I'll just go over it. So to start things off, we have a 4-2-4 line of Garchomp. Garchomp is just a card that I think is really fun, and I really just wanted to be able to play it for at least one tournament this season. Of course, Turbo Assault, 1 for 60, and you can attach any energy from your discard pile to any one of your Pokemon in play. It can be special energy, and you can attach it to any Pokemon in play, no matter the type and no matter the positioning, whether you want to attach it to the Garchomp or one of your bench Pokemon. Just a great attack, powers up your Pokemon, and yeah, usually can two-shot things with strong energy and Regirock. And then, of course, Bite Off, 2 fighting for 80, plus 80 more damage if the defending Pokemon's an EX. Just with strong energy, completely eats Pokemon EX alive. It's just a really fun card to play, and yeah, something interesting to note before I go on about the Garchomp line is how useful Gabite is actually. Gibble's attack is actually not too bad either, but Gabite's attack for a fighting Sand Tomb does 20, and the defending Pokemon can't retreat on their next turn. Not everything in this format plays Switch, since a lot of things are reliant on Floatstone, and there are turns where Gabite can actually buy you time, which is actually pretty interesting, by locking a Pokemon active that you've Lysandered. So yeah, Garchomp's the main focus of the deck, and you're really just going to try to set that up, but there is, of course, Jolteon EX is sort of the support as well, or kind of a backup attacker. Next up is a 2-2 line of Garbodor. Garbodor is there for Greninja and for Volcanion. Of course, Volcanion can easily trade with their baby Volcanions against your Garchomps. So we have Garbodor as kind of just a way to prevent that and stay ahead in that race. Of course, you can either two-shot their Volcanions, or you can just try to establish Garb and start Lysandering up their Volcanion EXs and just kind of pull ahead in the race as well. So, and again, there's no way this deck can beat Greninja without Garbodor, so, kind of evens that up a little bit. And then the backup attacker essentially is a Jolteon EX, of which you can power up with Turbo Assault. Of course, we do play Rainbow Energy, so we will be able to attach energy to Jolteon and use Flash Ray. It's really there for both Yveltal and also for Rainbow Road, because you get stomped on by them if they get a fast start. So you have Jolteon as kind of just, you Flash Ray them. Usually those kinds of decks don't play Pokemon Ranger, so Jolteon can just stick there and, pull ahead in the game. So another great thing is it's a free retreater. It's like the best starter in your deck because it's free retreat, and usually it can take a big hit early on, whereas your Gibbles and your Trubbishes will both get knocked out right away, and you never really want that to happen, especially with your Gibbles. So Jolteon's just a great card to have in the deck, and it was really fun to play. The last 2 Pokemon, one's a Regirock, really just there for Mega Mewtwo. You don't need Garbodor in the Mega Mewtwo matchup, obviously, so Regirock with some combination of Strong Energy and Faded Town help you get Bite Off knockouts on Mega Mewtwo EX, and of course you don't have to worry about it getting stuck in the active spot too often, because we do play Floatstone for the Garbodor anyways, so just a great card to have to deal extra damage with Garchomp. And the last Pokemon is a Shaman EX. Just draw through your deck, draw power, always great. Of course, this doesn't play Octillery because it plays Garbodor, so having one Shaman's always nice. Next up is the supporter line. Of course, 4 Sycamore 3N, not going to go into too much detail. It's been the same supporter line for the past like 4 years, so, but just great draw power, and you always want one in your opening hand since we don't play Bridget, so yeah, we play the 7 and it works out pretty much fine. So 2 Lysander, you are trying to knock out EXs on their bench to pull ahead, and of course you need Lysander to do that with, start taking out EXs with like Shaman EX, Hoopa EX, Volcanion EX, Power It Up, Evil Tall EXs, the list goes on, but Lysander is just a great card to have. And again, Santu can always lock something active and help you stall for a little bit, which is always great. 3 VS Seeker. It is a stage 2 deck, so you don't want really 4 VS Seeker because it is kind of a clunky card, but you still want 3 just to be able to get back to your supporters. So, and space is a little bit tight because you have to play Rare Candy and a bunch of cards in this deck, so 3 VS Seeker is really the right number, it seems. Next up is the ball line. 3 Level Ball, 4 Ultra Ball. This is pretty straightforward. Level Ball just sets up your Gibbles, can grab Gabite and Trubbish, and Ultra Ball grabs everything. The 7 is really great and helps you go through your deck really quickly. So, yeah. And of course, 4 Rare Candy because you are a stage 2 deck, so 4 is kind of a must. And yeah. There's 4 Trainer's Mail to draw into your supporters early on, your Rare Candies, your Ultra Balls, and you really need to have 4 Trainer's Mail from what I found in all Stage 2 decks in order to set up your Stage 2 as quickly as possible. Often you'll have a Rare Candy and an Ultra Ball, or a Rare Candy or an Ultra Ball, and you'll also have a Trainer's Mail, and you can go 4 cards deeper into your deck to be able to hit the piece you need for a Garchomp. But you can't really play something like Skyla because it's just kind of too slow. You'll need to be able to play a draw supporter in the same turn to keep setting up. But yeah, so 4 Trainer's Mail, really the right amount. 3 Floatstone, of course, for Garbodor, but also helps for for something like Regirock or Shaman, which could get stuck active. It is interesting to note that with this deck, Garchomp and Jolteon are both free retreat, both being your main attackers, so they are, they can just swap out pretty freely, which is really nice, not having to discard energy attached to them. So, the Floatstone Garb line is kind of a little bit awkward just because everything's free retreat, and if we had something else that wouldn't need Floatstone like Octillery, there could be an argument for playing fewer switch cards, but of course you need them for Garbodor and for possibly Regirock as well. So 1 Super Odd to shuffle back in Pokemon that die that you need, maybe a Garbodor line, but more importantly, Garchomp line, so you can keep attacking and finish out the game. 3 Faded Town for Megas, Mega Mewtwo more specifically, and you really need the 3 because you need them to stick. You'll definitely lose to damage change, but if you can get a turn where you just start one-shotting their Mega Mewtwo's because you have Regirock, Strong Energy, and Faded Town, you'll usually pull ahead in that matchup because you're taking knockouts every turn, and they're not. Well, they are, but they're still EXs. And usually those decks can kind of like crap out just from being Megas and taking so many energy. But next up is the Energy line, which is just 4 Strong, 3 Rainbow, 2 Fighting. Rainbow, of course, for Jolteon, and you can also use it on Garchomp, and 4 Strong, obviously, just to do more damage. And the 2 Fighting is kind of, you need more energy for Jolteon, but you don't want too many Rainbow to take too much damage, and you also need a couple energy in case a Chaos Wheel comes down before you get an energy on the board. You want to be able to use Turbo Assault against Giratina to attach more energy to your Garchomps, and then you just kind of can chain from there and eventually bite off their Giratinas to death. So yeah, that's the deck. It was really fun. It is a really fun deck. Just kind of looking back on it, maybe a few things I would change. I don't think it needed a 2-2 Garbodor line. A second Jolteon would have been fantastic. I think that's a card where it's just such a good starter, being both free retreat and high HP, to be able to take a hit. And I think, looking back on it, I would probably play another one of those. And I think if I did do a second Jolteon, I'd kind of switch over to maybe like a rainbow, a double colorless, and maybe another DCE. Just focusing more on getting a fast Jolteon, because against Rainbow Road and against Yveltal, you really need to get off a Jolteon attack as quickly as possible. And yeah, other things, I mean, maybe a Karen, but that's never too much of an issue. Usually if they knock out your Garchomps too quickly, you're going to lose anyways, and you can't really take a turn off for Karen. Yeah, and of course I have mentioned Octillery is good in this deck. There's no way to beat Greninja if you don't play Garbodor. And if you did play Octillery, you'd have to have some kind of answer to Jolteon EX, like Hex Maniac or Silent Lab, which of course is doable. You could certainly play those, but I really wanted the Faded Towns, and I didn't want to have a conflicting stadium or have too many stadiums. The last thing I would change is I would definitely add a second Shaman. I think maybe something along the lines of a second Shaman, a second Jolteon, maybe cutting a 1/1 Garbodor line, and possibly even adding some Parallel Cities. I can draw early with Shaman and knock them off my bench with Parallel City, or if it's a matchup like Rainbow Road where I need to limit their bench, I can just knock off their bench, and the same with something like Mega Rayquaza. But yeah, those are just some kind of things I would change looking back on them. Double colorless, second Jolteon, second Shaman, and yeah. But I'm not going to go too much into the tournament report. I hit some bad matchups like Rainbow Road, which you pretty much can't beat with this deck. And yeah, so thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will certainly be putting up more videos this week, focusing on Expanded because of Philly Regionals. I'm super excited for Regionals. For as far as Florida goes, I had a great time. It was an excellently run event. Of course, warm weather, huge venue, and I must say it was one of the most pleasant regionals I've been to so far. And congratulations to everyone who did well. It was a stacked top 8, just so many players, so many popular names, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more videos this week for Expanded. See you guys.